Hey guys, what's up? This is the Knife Enthusiast here, coming at you with another video. This video is going to be a story time video on my experiences at Darrel Ralph's factory and meeting Darrel Ralph. So, actually it was Christmas. So on Christmas Day, most families or most people would receive gifts like clothing or, something a little more ordinary. Well, in our family, we are a knife family. My dad's a knife enthusiast. I'm a major knife enthusiast, and my grandfather is a big knife enthusiast as well. I actually got a little voucher that was for one tour with Darrel Ralph, and my dad wanted to get me something for Christmas that we could do together, knife related, because we both like knives, and that was just something we could do, together. So. Got to call Darrel Ralph up, and we scheduled a time with him. But unfortunately, he got the flu, and he couldn't make it that day. So, sorry guys, I had a cough. So unfortunately, he couldn't make it that day. He had to reschedule for next week. I think it was literally a week later, maybe, or about a week later. He was feeling a little better, just had a little bit of a cough, and so we decided to drive out there. So we get to the building. It's a pretty moderately sized building. Outside, he actually has the DDR title or the name plate next to the door. So we went inside, and we met Darrel Ralph in person. Talked a little bit at the beginning. Showed us some titanium blanks that he had after he cut out all the blades. Pretty cool. Then we moved on to see the first room. In the first room, which was the room we entered in, was a pretty big room with different facilities. It had one machine for milling out barrel spacers and pins, one machine for cutting out the blades, and one machine one little work area for different knife blanks and that kind of stuff. So seeing how the pins and the barrel spacers were made were really cool because they were very, detailed and very artistic, which most barrel spacers, it's just something to hold the knife together because, you're never going to see it. But Darrel Ralph took some pretty good time to make some pretty detailed pins that were pretty small and really cool. So next we got to see the little different knife blank station, which had all the different knife blanks on it. Got to see different types of knife blades from the gun hammer, different balisong knife blanks, and just a really cool experience seeing the different knife blanks. They didn't have a grind in them because they were blanks, but they were still the same shape and looked pretty cool. So then we moved on to see the knife station where they were cut out. At the beginning of the tour, we didn't actually get to see them being cut, but at the end when we were leaving, we saw the batch be put in and they started cutting them, so that was pretty cool. So moving on out of that room, we moved into a pretty decently sized open room. It had a workstation kind of island in the middle with all the different workstations on the walls around the room, and that was kind of like the area for fine tuning, I guess you would say, or just final piecing together. It was kind of the room where all the parts were already ready to go. You just piece it together and make everything work good. So we got to see a custom full Damascus knife with ivory inlay being made. Pretty, I don't know, it was a stiletto, style. I don't remember the exact name for it, and that was pretty cool seeing that, put together, and all the different stations that it had there. I actually, at the next station, found a Gemini Blade, and that was pretty rare because he only made 100 Geminis, and, I thought they were all, just stopped being made, but he had a couple of Gemini blanks left that he told me that he just had laying around, so that was kind of cool, finding, a blast from the past kind of thing, just laying around. Next was a station for, I don't know what it was exactly. It had some, it didn't have any handles, but it was a lot of different knife blades. And I saw this blade, actually, the Trident blade that was going off to Blade HU. and then the other version of this tactical battle song, which had the Rehawk blade. And he explained to me why he called it the Rehawk instead of the Weehawk, because it literally is a Weehawk blade, but he calls it the Rehawk. So apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but it was pretty damn funny. So I asked him why he called it the Rehawk, and he tells me that one day an Asian guy had walked into his factory, or not walked in, but was ordering or something, and he was customizing a knife that he wanted a custom knife from Darrel Ralph. So when they got to the blade style, Darrel Ralph said, "What blade style do you want?" And the guy just kept going, "Rehawk, Rehawk, Rehawk," and kind of stereotypical, but he couldn't pronounce the W, and he kept saying R. So it was he kept saying Rehawk instead of Weehawk. So Darrel Ralph calls it the Rehawk off of that. So I thought that was pretty funny. And moving on, we went to an even bigger room, which had the grinding station, the stonewashing station, the heat treating station, and the kayak sheath area. So the kayak sheath thing was pretty cool because I never knew how that was made. It's actually like a wooden box where you put the knife in, and they get the kayak sheath material, or the kydex, and it's a very rubbery material, very flexible, and they lay it on top. This was a fixed blade, so it wasn't battle song. If it was a battle song, they would close the knife and then put the sheath material over it. But they would lay it across the blade since it was a fixed blade. And, it was in this wooden box, so they closed the box up, and they had like one of these little vacuum cleaners with the tube, not like a house cleaning vacuum cleaner, but a vacuum that you would use on your stairs, for instance, that had a tube, and you would just plugged in the cylinder tube for the vacuum. It was literally like a house vacuum. Turned it on, and within seconds, it molded around the knife, making a custom sheath for that knife, which I thought was really cool. Then we moved on to the stonewashing station, which is literally this giant cylinder about the size of a body, or a person, not a body, but somebody's body. Just basically as tall, not as tall as a human, probably about 4-5 feet tall. I'd say 4 feet tall. And it was filled with all these little stones, kind of like decorative, not really decorative, but they were really small, really smooth stones, about like that big. Just tons of them in this thing with water. And get a stonewash finish on a blade like this one has, which I will show you in a second. You put the blade in this stonewashing machine for about 24 hours, and you get this nice stonewash finish where the water and the stones are just because the machine actually shakes, so all the rocks are moving around, and the water is moving around with the rocks that is being squirted in there or injected in there, and it just goes all against this blade for about 24 hours, making this nice stone-washed finish, which you see here. This is a stonewash blade. So this one is by Darrel Ralph, by the way, Darrel Ralph Tactical. If I did not say that at the beginning of the video, now you know. So get a little bit more focused in there. So basically, got to see how the stonewash was made. Then we went over to the grinding station, which was this very unique grinding angle kind of machine that they had, which got very good grinding angles for them to use. And one of their employees was grinding all the blades. Then we saw over on the other side was the heat treating center, which didn't have much use. It was actually kind of like a dark corner. It wasn't really being, didn't look like it was used. It almost looked like an unused part of the thing. But there was the heat treating station, just counting down, like had the temperature and whatnot. Then moving on, we went into his storeroom, and we got to see all of his different knife handles and blades that he had. They were either extras from old knives that he made, or they were new knives that were just in there for storage. I don't know. It was just tons and tons of different types of blades and knives. It wasn't like a large kind of like, it was kind of like a closet. It wasn't very large, but it was very narrow and kind of long. So we went in there and we got to see, different types of handles he had, like the Twist 2, I believe, or the Twirl 2 or the Twirl handles, and it had all these different types of handles, very cool handles. And in the storeroom, I showed him my Alpha Beast. I brought the 42, the tactical that you have to see here, and the Alpha Beast with me, just for referencing or just to show him. And he had actually never flipped an Alpha Beast before, so he had heard a lot about it. He just never flipped it. So I let him flip it, and he thought it was a pretty good knife. And I consider the Alpha Beast, the second best flipper that I have, right behind the 42. So it was pretty cool for him to say that it was a pretty good flipper. But he actually found an old Battlesong project that he told me that he started but never finished. So I thought that was cool because us, the public, would have never known about this, or maybe never have seen this if he had never gone, because he never really goes into the storage room much, is from what he told me. So it was pretty cool, that he went in there and found something that he started but never finished. And unlike most guys who say, I should probably start this up again and never do, he actually took the box with the blades and the handles and brought them into his office on his desk. So that to me shows that he actually was serious about trying to do something with them. So that was cool. And before we got to his office, we went through like his, I believe his, maybe his co-workers or his other type of business employees or something along that line. They were their office, which had a ginormous table filled with all these HTM and DDR knives, all these custom gun hammers, which were outstanding, just amazing gun hammers. Got to flip a couple open and just look at them, and they were amazing. So then we went into his office, and we actually got to see where he does all of the professional kind of photography for his website. So if you noticed on his website, he has all these knives and all these different backdrops and scenery and stuff like that. He does all of those in his office at this one photo station that he has, and it's pretty cool getting to see that. Then we went over to his desk, and on his desk, which I couldn't even believe it, were a set of Benchmade 42 handles. Now, for most of you flippers out there that don't have a 42 but know exactly what a 42 is and want one very badly, you'd be a little mad because you'd be like, oh, he has just a set of 42 handles laying there on the table just as decoration. And it was actually pretty cool because I thought, hey, he's got a 42 just, on his desk. That's really cool. And although the spring latch was broken, so still, it was 42 handles, and I thought that was really cool seeing that on his desk. But it was pretty cool. Showed me how he makes, not makes knives, but designs knives via his software programs, and showed me a knife that he's been working on. Not really. I think it's still in the designing phases, but he hasn't even put into even like a prototype or anything yet. So he showed me that, and that was pretty cool. Not allowed to tell you guys anything about that one, so sorry. So at the very so we got to see his how he designs the knives on the computer. But what I thought was really interesting is throughout the whole tour, I was finding these Gemini parts. Like I found Gemini Blade. I think I found like 3 Gemini blades, and I found like something. But I don't think I ever saw handles. But I just saw a couple of Gemini blades, and I thought that was really cool because it was an old Battlesong that he made a while ago, and I talked to him about it. I'm like, oh well, you have a couple of these blades. Have you ever thought about maybe or rebooting it up or doing something like that with it? He's like, oh no, he's not. So he basically said he was not going to make a new Gemini series or whatever, make the Gemini again, because that was a one run thing, and he was never going to make any more Geminis. So sorry guys, but if you want a Gemini, you're gonna have to go on the secondhand market. There's not going to be any more. But I thought it was really cool just seeing some of those old blade Gemini parts that you would only see if you owned a real Gemini, if you bought one from the secondhand market. But I got to see some just at his store, so that was pretty cool. And at the end of the tour, we went back into the main room where we walked into, and we talked for a little bit there. I showed him my Battlesong collection, and what was really cool is talking to Darrel Ralph about different knife aspects, like, oh, I like this knife because of this, or oh, I like this for flipping because of that. And at the, I think it was maybe one, but I think it might have been one or two. He's like, "Oh, what's that knife?" And he probably knew what it was, or like he probably knew what it was after I told him, but I don't think he just completely didn't know what it was, because it was a Bradley Mayhem, and I think he knew what it was after I told him, but he didn't know what it was, and I told him that I liked it because it was a great EDC battle song. Not a very good flipper, although for the EDC battle songs out there, I thought it was the best, and I EDC it every day, which I do, and it was just a great battle song. And he told me that he had I should check out the Gunhammer battle song, and I just look at him and I'm all shocked. I'm like, that exists? Because the Gunhammer is a really cool looking folder that I thought for the past year, what if that was a battle song? That would be amazing. And he told me that. He's like, "Sure I do." And I thought the way he responded, I was like, "How long have you had this thing?" Because he didn't really give me anything after that, because he's like, "Oh, I really have to get back to work. It's New Year's Eve and stuff." So, he was glad to give us the tour, and it was a great experience. But I wish I found out more about that Gunhammer. But it was nothing to be mad about or anything, because it was the whole tour, and getting it personally done by Darrel Ralph himself was amazing. And I'm not even mad. The fact that like most people will be like, "Oh gosh, I wish he would have told me," kind of thing, but I'm not disappointed. I'm not anything. It was just something cool. Now I got that thought in my head about the Gunhammer battle song, and it was a great experience, just going there and meeting Darrel Ralph in person. And he's just a great guy, and he makes great knives, has a great factory, just overall just outstanding guy. And one thing that really kind of bothers me is that I've had two different sources tell me that they don't like Darrel Ralph, but none of them have actually, well, one of them kind of backed up their claim. But Jersey Devil is a knife forum that's pretty popular in the community, and they have just outstanding custom knife makers on that channel as well. Although on Jersey Devil, there's some very I don't know how to describe it. They're different a little bit, I guess you could say. So I love Jersey Devil. It's a great website for talking to different people about knife stuff, but sometimes they can get a little vulgar, and that's one thing that I think is kind of bad. But you know what? It's their forum. They can do what they want with it. So, but anyway, one thing about the Jersey Devil forum is that they always, I don't know, I just read all these threads where people, bring up Darrel Ralph, and then they're just like, "Oh, we don't like Darrel Ralph here," or something like that. And I haven't actually found any thread or forum on Jersey Devil that, says why they don't like Darrel Ralph. But some reason on Jersey Devil, they just don't like Darrel Ralph. And I've always wanted to know that, and if you know any information about why people at Jersey Devil do not like Darrel Ralph, please leave a comment below, because I would really like to know, and I have no idea. The second source was two guys met at a gun show that were selling these. They were selling knives, ironically, but they told me that they went to go see Darrel Ralph to talk to him about maybe selling some of his knives, but the assistant or whatever shut him down, and they just left. And so they weren't that impressed with his factory or whatever. And honestly, his factory was pretty good, so I don't know what they were saying there, but I mean, I guess maybe they were just mad that they got shut down. But Darrel Ralph is a great guy, has great knives, and don't listen to all the haters out there, because we all know, especially me, that you're going to get haters. And the reason I say especially me is because my old channel got shut down because of haters. So, but I'm kind of surprised that people would be not like Darrel Ralph, because he's a pretty upstanding guy. I thought he was pretty nice and pretty great, but some people don't like him, and if they have their reasons, and that's their reasons. But my personal opinion was that he was a great guy, and had a great facility and made great knives. So that's the end of my story, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is gonna be a little bit of an update. On my channel, I will be posting my review video on the Darrel Ralph Tactical. ballast song that you can buy off BladeHQ.com. This video, I actually made this video for my other channel until it got shut down, so I'm just going to be almost recycling that and putting that one on this channel. Obviously, I will say in that video my old YouTube channel name, but it's still me, so don't get confused. Also, I will be making my second storytime video, which will be about my ballast song that I got at the gun show. And that's the upcoming videos that I have planned for you guys. I will be making more videos more frequently now that I have more free time on my last channel. If you do remember me, I was Ballast Songs R Us 141. I didn't have much time to make ballast songs near the end before it was canceled, but now I actually do have a lot more time, so I'll be making a ton of videos for this channel, and that's about it for updates, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I had fun telling it to you. So this has been The Knife Enthusiast. Subscribe, like this video, and I will see you next time.